So welcome back. This is session 2, and it has quite a different feel to the session that we've just had. It's a panel discussion, so we're not going to be doing individual presentations. And it's going to explore collections as a tool for new institutional strategies. So the panel, the conversation that we're going to have has 3 main aims. The first is to investigate the potential functions of a collection relative to the broader activities of a contemporary museum. The second is to look at the Artist 2000 Plus collection as an example of how this is done. And then the third is to discuss between professionals working with very different institutions within Russia and find out what their perspectives are on the concept of a collection being a tool for new institutional strategies. So I'll set the scene a little bit further for our conversation by outlining those points a bit more. But first of all, I want to introduce the speakers so they don't have to sit anonymously at the front. And I apologize in advance for making a complete mess of all of your names. So one day I will be good at everybody's names. So Nalia Alakhverdiyeva is the art director of the Perm Museum of Contemporary Art and a leading specialist in integrating contemporary art into urban landscapes and public spaces. The Perm Museum was established in 2008 when gallerist Marek Gurman and the Senator of Perm Region Sergei Goriev organized the exhibition Russian Prevera at the Riverside Dock Station. This met with great success and led to Gurman becoming the director. And this was where the museum was established, at this dockside. He went on to form a collection under the conceptual frame of Russian Prevera, and the museum also owns the Moscow Archives of New Art, otherwise known as the Mani folders, which were donated by Goriev. Alakhverdiyeva took over in 2013, curating the last exhibition in the dock station building called Transition Zone, after which the museum relocated to a temporary building, and they will move back in a few years. Now, with an emphasis on a commissioning program, one of the interesting questions around the development of the institution is what form the collection should take in the future and what kind of institutional structure should be put in place now there's a kind of a need for stability within the organization. Angie Edgar is head of the research department of Moscow Museum of Modern Art. The museum was founded by the president of the Art Academy, Zurab Tsereteli, in 1999, and is supported by the Moscow government. It's the first state museum in Russia to specialize in modern and contemporary art and spreads across 5 venues in the city. The core of the museum is Tsereteli's private collection, consisting of more than 2,000 works by Russian as well as international artists, such as Picasso, Leger, Miro, de Chirico. Works by nonconformist artists from the 1960s to the 1980s form a large part of the collection, which is also regularly complemented by works by contemporary artists. Since 2009, the institution has been developing a series of displays that present the collection thematically to reveal new associations between the works. Egorov has co-curated the last 2 collection displays, one of which was called Dreams for Those Who Are Awake in 2013, and then the Fortune Museum in 2015. Elisa Hoodnikova is a commissioner and artistic director of the Ural Industrial Biennial of Contemporary Art in Ekaterinburg. Since 2005, she has been the director of the Ural branch of the National Center for Contemporary Art, and since 2013, the director of the New Art Regional Public Foundation for Contemporary Art Support and Development. NCCA was founded by the Ministry of Culture in 1992. From its establishment, it has focused its energy in building a collection of contemporary art, which to date holds around 440 Russian artists. It also organizes yearly festivals of private, public, and corporate collections, as well as holding panel discussions dedicated to issues around collecting contemporary art, alongside the exhibitions programs that it develops. The branch in Ekaterinburg was established in 1999. Hoodnikova played a key role in founding the first video collection in Ural-Siberia region. Since 2008, under her directorship, the program Ural Factories, the Industry of Senses, was launched, dedicated to reinterpreting concepts of urban development in industrial zones. In 2010, she initiated the Ural Industrial Biennial, which became the most important cultural event in the whole region. This is what perhaps sets the institution apart, is its approach to using both the festival and the museum strategies to presenting contemporary art, as well as the fact that it is focused on developing a series of buildings across the country, which forms the NCCA network. So if you like, it's focusing on the development of a collection of spaces and locations, as well as a collection of art. Zdenka Budovanec is director of the Moderna Galeria in Ljubljana and the person who initiated the 2000+ Artist collection. I'm not going to go into graphic detail about what Zdenka has done because I'll come back to that later. So, having set the scene with the speakers and the specificities of the institutions in which they work, I just want to return momentarily to the motives for the panel. So, after Garage Archive Collection was established in 2012, we instigated a series of exhibitions and events to explore the potential functions of a collection relative to the broader activities of a contemporary museum. Grammar of Freedom is part of this inquiry, wherein historical precedents and current cultural conditions are explored in depth with the public to share the production of knowledge during the nascent development of our museum. At the heart of the venture is a desire to think through the characteristics of Garage's own collection, which is the first public archive in the country related to the development of Russian contemporary art from the 1950s through to the present, and to understand better its possibilities as a resource, not just in its material form, but as a repository of experience. One of the motives for learning through the Artist 2000+ collection is that it is the first museum initiative anywhere in the world to focus on the work of Eastern European post-war avant-garde artists. More specifically, the collection reveals how artists have responded to their lived experiences from the aftermath of World War II through the post-socialist transition of the 1990s to the current context of global neoliberal capitalism. As a result, it offers rare insight into shared socio-political concerns between intergenerational artists, providing an overview of art from the region, but with an international perspective. The exhibition Grammar of Freedom, 5 Lessons, is a selection of more than 60 artists and art collectives from that collection. As the title suggests, the show is organized around 5 lessons that form a series of propositions to be questioned and explored through the juxtaposition of the selected works. Together, they propose a grammar, or a set of tools, that shed light on how artistic strategies have created resistance to, or provided alternative commentaries on, a range of social and political situations. In this way, the exhibition reveals how artists have historically sought liberty and considers how their approaches may resonate today. This is not the first time the collection has been mined to explore issues that reach beyond the basic premise of art from Eastern Europe. In general, when the Artist 2000+ collection was established 15 years ago, Zdenka Budovanec began to articulate a new approach towards the formation and uses of a collection. I'm going to quote her, and I know this is torture when you're sitting there, but so I make sure it's in there. Art collections are formed on the basis of certain classification systems, with the purpose of representing art which fits the categories included in such systems. Any instrumentality of such a collection, whether ideological, political, or commercial, is usually hidden from view. We could say that the particularity of Artist 2000+ collection is that it reveals itself as a tool for something beyond a seemingly neutral presentation of art. It is fairly rare for a collection to present itself as a tool, since it remains in the interest of ideology and of capital to present them in their function as spectacles, separate from their potentiality, from their profanity. The use of our collection, this is Zdenka speaking, could thus be understood as a deactivation of the apparent neutrality of the collection, that is, the deactivation of its own musealization. Artist 2000+ then can be thought of in terms of profane musealization and hence in terms of its liberating potential. In her catalogue essay for the exhibition, which is, some of you may have seen, it's just outside, Zdenka also lists the ways in which she sees the potential of the collection as a tool. And I wanted just to list them here because I think it will help with our discussion around how our collection can be used. So she says the way a collection can be used as a tool is to enter into dialogue with the world, to create self-definition, for interactivity, for producing new knowledge about the region and its art system, to define the idea of a museum of contemporary art and of contemporaneity, and for a critique of the conditions of contemporary art. So I'd like to ask Zdenka to speak a little about her thinking behind her approach to developing the collection and her ideas about the collection as a tool. And then after that, we'll develop a conversation between all the panelists through a series of 3 questions that I'll be asking them later.